Namaste. The comic book Curfew is the first appearance of superhero Doga in Raj Comics. It was released in November 1992. This comics begins with the Chambal region in north-central India. Chambal region is known for its rugged terrain, which is characterized by ravines, hills and forests. It was once famous for its dacoits or outlaws who lived hiding in ravines and preyed on travelers and villagers. Today, they are no more left due to increased law enforcement efforts. The story begins with those days when the police used to hunt down the dacoits of Chambal. So, once a group of such outlaws, whose leader was Halkan Singh, attacked a village. As they were about to flee after looting the village, the police surrounded them. The dacoits were trapped and all were killed in the encounter. Only their leader Halkan somehow managed to escape. He was on the run. The police continued chasing him. Halkan stopped to drink water from a stream when he heard a baby crying. When he looked around, he saw a newborn baby lying in a pile of garbage. The baby was surrounded by dogs, which were eating and sniffing the garbage. Halkan thought, "Oh, this is my chance. This bastard baby can save me from the police." And he quickly lifted the baby. Then suddenly police caught him and asked him to surrender. But he put his revolver on the baby's head and threatened to kill the baby if the police comes near him. Police was helpless. They couldn't risk the baby's life, so they let Halkan go. Halkan laughed loudly and ran away with the baby. Later, when he reached his hideout, he spoke to himself, "This bastard boy is my lucky charm. I will keep him always by my side. He will grow up just like street dogs grow up by themselves. Now I need to gather up some men and rebuild my gang." Saying this, he threw the baby on a bed lying nearby. Few years later, a bus is passing through a deserted area, but it stops suddenly as the road is blocked by rocks. Inside the bus, a passenger rose up and taking out his gun tells the driver to take the bus off-road to where he says. The driver obeys and turns the bus and takes it inside the forest. The bus is stopped at one place where the dacoits gang was waiting for them. They bring everybody out of the bus and line them up. Their leader shouts, "Kill them all." And next moment the bullets from AK-47 bore through each and every one of the passengers. These monsters didn't even spare the children. And then when everybody lay dead, the leader took off his robe. He was none other than Halkan Singh. His men started collecting money and jewelry off of the dead bodies, in very gruesome way. Not much far from them, behind the bushes, a teenage boy with tears in his eyes and fists clenched, was staring at this bloody sight. Halkan always kept the boy near him. All this happened a long time ago. Now today in modern Mumbai, almost everywhere the advertisements of a new special chewing extract called Pan Kharab could be seen. People were talking about this new product, but they were not able to find it anywhere in the markets. Then one evening, it was announced on television that tomorrow salesman of Pan Kharab will be distributing it to everyone for free. Next day everybody was excited and were getting hands on as many pouches as they could. And since that day everyone who had tasted Pan Kharab became crazy for it. They were willing to do anything to grab one pouch. This new product was very much addictive. Meanwhile, at the factory of this new product, whose owner is none other than old Halkan Singh, asked one of his men, "What's the news, Loha Singh?" Loha Singh replied, "The news is great, boss. Everyone is asking for our product. They want more and more." On hearing this, Halkan laughed and said, "I have made a long journey to reach where I am now. Today, I am a successful businessman as well as a minister of the state." Loha Singh, thinking about something, said angrily, "This journey could have been much shorter if that bastard hadn't betrayed us. Because of him so many of our men were killed by police." Halkan frowned. "Stop it. Don't revive my old wounds. I will never forget that pile of garbage. Look at this bullet in my coat I always keep with me. I've engraved that bastard's name on it. One day I'm gonna pierce his heart with it." Next morning, the streets of Mumbai stirred with new latest news. Everyone was talking about the posters which were all over the city. On these posters an unknown person had written, "I will kill the minister and turn his bungalow into dust, tomorrow at 2 o'clock noon. Nobody can stop me." Mumbai police was disturbed by this threat. Their chief said, "We cannot take this lightly. This may not be a joke. Full security must be given to the minister. Declare curfew in the city tomorrow after 10 a.m. and seal the area around minister's house. Deploy heavily armed guards, not even a fly should pass through." But then he received a call from the minister, who was Halkan Singh. He said, "I don't need your policemen, my black cat commandos will take care of the situation." Saying this, he cut the phone. Next morning the police declared curfew in the city. Roads and streets, every nook and corner was empty within an hour. One of the black cat commando of minister said to other commandos who were guarding the minister's house, "We have shoot at sight orders, shoot any living thing you see. If you see him, fire so many bullets in his body so that his body turns into a metal block." And there he stood on the roof of a building near minister's house. He, whose veins are filled with gunpowder instead of blood, a heart beating with fire. His body, a metal construct. He wears the armor of justice. There is no bullet made on this earth which can pierce his body. He jumped from the 25th floor of the building and landed on ground like a mountain. The guards startled when they saw him, and before they could do anything, he silenced all of them with his machine gun, one by one. His weapon spewed out fire. Dead bodies of minister's commandos piled up on the streets. People inside their houses listened to the loud noise of excessive firing and were scared and amazed. Nobody looked outside their windows out of fear. Slaying everyone who came across his way, the dog-faced vigilante reached at the main gate of minister's bungalow. He then fired from his grenade launcher and blew up the gate. The bungalow was empty, everyone had run away. He planted bombs all around the bungalow, and in few seconds there was a huge explosion and bungalow was burnt to the ground. He then left as silently as he came. Everyone saw him when he came there, but no one was left alive to see him leave. At the hideout of Halkan the minister, Loha Singh came running in frenzy and was shouting, "Captain, Captain," but before he could say anything more his brains were splattered on the floor by an incoming bullet. And then the vigilante entered, looking at him and then at the dead body of his man. Halkan shouted, "Who the hell are you? How dare you enter my place and kill my men? Look at my face, it resembles a dog, right? Yes, you picked me up from where the dogs were sniffing." Halkan was stunned, his eyes wide open. He recognized that voice. In fury he said, You bastard. So you are the one who killed all my commandos and blew up my residence. I grew up with dogs, but you are a real dog, Halkan Singh. Today you will pay the price of your each and every crime, the vigilante said. Halkan laughed and took out the bullet he always kept inside his boat and said, "I will make a big hole in your body for everything you took away from me. Now you won't bother me no more." Saying this, Halkan loaded his gun with that bullet and pointed at the vigilante. That dog-faced vigilante didn't move at all and said, "Shoot me, Halkan Singh. Let's see who among us will die today." Without losing a moment, Halkan shot him. The bullet pierced his body and blood was gushing out. But he stood still and said, "Now, my turn." And he grabbed Halkan's neck and strangled him to death. Then another man entered the room and the vigilante looked at him and said, "Come uncle, come, see his body, I finally killed him." That man, who was known as Adrak Uncle, asked him, "Why? Why you let him shoot you, my boy?" He replied, "Because I was in his debt, for he once gave me life, but with my blood I settled the debt." Adrak Uncle held him as he fell to the ground. Before he fainted, his last words were, "Promise me, uncle, you will show the real face of this monster to the world. You will tell the truth to the world. People think he is a good minister." "Yes, my boy, yes," Adrak Uncle replied. "I will also tell the world your story, the story of Doga. I'll tell them how an innocent boy turned into a dangerous masked vigilante. That beneath that mask there is a hero, a real patriot, a real son of India. I'll tell the world. This is Doga. And like this the comics comes to an end. What happens next? Will Doga live? Who is this man Adrak, who wants to tell the world about Doga? How an innocent boy became Doga? We will find out in the next issue of Doga called This is Doga. Thanks for watching. Please share your thoughts about this video in the comments section. Take care. Goodbye.